This is Brittany Matthews, the Promotion Lady, and welcome to the Promotion Lady Show.
The Promotion Lady Show is as real as it gets. She's putting it down for you. I said you haven't seen nothing yet. The Promotion Lady Show, putting the real back into reality. Come on and join us. Yeah, the spoken truth you will see.
For him to share what he has. So tell me a little bit more about Andrew and what he does.
Sure. So to start off, I'm from Nickel, South Carolina, which is a very small town right outside of Myrtle Beach. My graduating class was 60. But entrepreneurship has always been in my family, starting with my great-grandfather to my grandfather to my dad, and now me, the one out of the brothers that decided to go into entrepreneurship, I guess you could say.
So are you the oldest or the youngest?
I am the oldest.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like that kind of plays into my story too, because I always had to think about not only what was best, but how to be more efficient, creative, and kind of all those blend at the same time, which I feel like really plays into my bow tie story as well. So how I got started in bow ties, sophomore year, I kept on going into Belk and seeing the same cloth bow ties back to back to back, and it was the only thing that was different is the color and the name tag. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed that later on that year, people were starting to play with different media. Like I've seen metal, I've seen wood, I've even seen feathers that's made in Charleston.
That is super different, yeah.
Yeah, and I was questioning why nobody was making out of leather. But I did find another company in New Orleans made them out of leather too, but theirs looked a little bit more like a dog tag, which isn't what I would be looking for personally.
Right.
So I started creating them just this past year, or at least started playing with them to see kind of what I could come up with. Mm-hmm. So I do have a sample today. This was our very first.
The very first.
Yeah, it was
the original.
Yeah, the very first one that I started wearing personally. But within 3 ties, these edges were starting to fray, and it just had a bulkier look to it. Mm-hmm. Of course, my girlfriend was very supportive and said it looked really nice.
That's what we have to do.
Right.
That's what we have to do. We have to support our men, right?
And then about half a year ago at this point, we received a grant through the McNair Center at Columbia College, and we were able to start with these bow ties we have right in front of us. These are the pre-tied bow ties, and as you can see, it's a complete 180 from our first one.
Yes, a complete 180.
And whenever we started making these, then my girlfriend admitted, these were a great start, but we definitely have enhanced the design. But that's just a little bit overview of the bow ties and where I got started making them out of leather.
And see, that's what drew me to your story from one to you, because you expressed that you had a wonderful start, right, but you showed us the progress of what you was doing. Mm-hmm. And that actually says a lot about you. You're a go-getter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think that's the older sibling thing, but I'm a younger sibling, but we have a little juice of go-getting. But tell us a little bit about the story behind your bow ties. I know you have them as a different name or a different type of season. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Right. So we can start off with the name. It takes people quite a few times of hearing the bow tie names until they realize what's going on. But I name all of my bow ties after trees.
Okay.
Because
that is so different.
I know. But what I was looking at is the very first one I made was hickory, which was this all a little bit different than this one right here, but it was the all natural suede in the front. And the more I thought about it, I thought about what could be like a clever but also a cool way that there's this kind of theme in the names, no matter how much I make. And at first I thought about like maybe authors, maybe historians, but then I'm like, that could turn into a political debate eventually at some point.
So keeping it simple.
Right.
You
and
the tree thing.
Especially with leather being such a natural thing anyway, I said, why don't I look at something else natural? So I looked at trees, and each bow tie is actually named after the tree. Either I kind of felt had the same vibe, or it looked like the bark, or even the leaves.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your struggles I know you said you were a young entrepreneur. You said you've been doing this for around a year's time.
Right.
So just within a year's time, you know, most companies or business owners, they say they will fail within the first 5 years.
Right.
And it's a hard start. First of all, getting loans or getting actual people to be excited about your product. What were some of your struggles and how did you overcome those struggles?
Well, we're still overcoming. So I'm not going to lie.
It's never ending.
Right. The biggest thing is that bow ties are mainly a Southern kind of accessory. So that's limiting my market in the first place with a bow tie. But I understood that. But I was passionate enough about it that I'm like, I can find these people. And I realized leather and also these higher end bow ties, it's just finding those people. So that was kind of its own starting point. But also I started doing this my senior year of college. If you could think about that, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So at first I'm focusing on the books, but I'm still trying to run a business on the side. And not only run one, but start one. So that you can imagine is
and then you had another job too, right?
I've had 5 jobs all throughout senior year. But my bow tie business was always counting as my 5th. So even though it was something I was really passionate about, I didn't want it to risk my senior year either. So that was kind of a difficult balance. But now that I've graduated, I've been able to go out to 1 million cups and meet with people and actually start to focus on my business again. So I feel like that was a huge battle. It's just simply time and where to balance it at the correct times, because I kind of felt guilty those first 6 months of I'm not putting all day, every day into it.
Right.
But now I'm able to put more time into it, and I feel like I took the appropriate steps to make it successful.
Right. So the plan that you did was actually take your product and expanded your product, and now you're out networking, trying to get more people excited about it.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. It's not just necessarily staying in your business, going out and just sharing what you have.
Yeah.
And that's why I thank you so much for being on this show, because this gives an opportunity for you to share the goodness of what you have done so far. And like you said, you've been doing this for over a year.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And I know a lot of people actually will tag onto this and really wear these ties.
Right. So that actually goes into...
And these are handmade too, right?
Every single one is handmade, and it's not even like I'm sourcing it out or anything. A lot of people, every time I mention it, they go, you can make these cheaper in Mexico or somewhere else.
It's not about
That's
that.
not the purpose. That's not what I'm after. I really take pride, and I sit down with every single bow tie that goes out the door, and I make it from start to finish. So even at the store, I refuse to get my leather shipped. I could have it shipped to me, but I like to sit down with every single piece of leather and go, is this something I would want?
So sometimes easier is not best.
Right.
You're pouring out your heart in this. And, and it shows from, especially, I can understand you pour your heart out to this as well.
Yeah.
But it, the level of confidence kept building.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, absolutely. I'm not wearing one today, but normally I'm in a bow tie every day if I'm not in the office. Oh, yeah. But every single bow tie, I'm proud to see. They also come in a wooden box that has it.
Wow.
The logo
the whole casing and everything is just personally done for someone.
Oh yeah, because
you have to spoil people. I mean, that's really good.
Well, I also like to think that I'm not in the business of products. I'm in the business of memories. So if you think about it, if you're going to wear a bow tie out, you're not going to Walmart, most likely. You're going out to a special event or something that you'd want to dress up and be nicer. So not only are you wearing that bow tie, but that's going to be in photos. That's going to be something you look back at. So I like to say that I'm in the business of memories.
And then having people to brag about it.
Right, absolutely.
So,
that's always a plus.
Always people will brag about something that is custom.
Oh, yeah.
So that's great. So where do you see the future of your company? Where do you see it?
Excellent question. I'm still trying to figure that out every day. I like the fact that I can make every bow tie, but I'm not tied to that either. Eventually, I do want to grow a little bit. I do want to be in boutiques and men's stores across the South Carolina area, as well as if I branch out too. But I definitely see myself in the boutiques, in the wedding industry is where I'm really trying to tap in right now, and more of those high-end events. And that's kind of where I see myself going in the next 5 years.
That is so great. I'm glad you have a great executed plan that you have. Okay, so anyway, but definitely, I want to ask you one question. I always ask my guests this question.
Okay.
What is it that you can give to our audience to encourage them if they want to start a business?
Okay.
Give me one good thing.
Oh, I want it to be good. I would say the thing that's helped me the most too, which is actually something I had to overcome, is you can't please everybody.
So true.
I love more than anything to get feedback about my bow ties, but I understand that a lot of it can contradict what another customer may want. So what I look at is I do want my customers to be happy, but also at the same time, I want a product that I would be proud to put out as well. So just with all the feedback you get, it's great, but don't take all of it to heart either, and don't change it every time that you get feedback either.
Exactly. And stay true to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, you have to stay true to yourself, because everybody can tell you every little thing to do.
Yeah.
And have you in all these crazy different directions, but you have to do what's true to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I thank you so much for being on this show today.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it, but thanks you guys for watching us on the Promotion Lady Show. And Mr. Andrew, how can we all find you?
You can go to www.andrewjamesonbowties.com and also follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome.